Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live once again. This is Empire State of Baseball, episode number 163, airing on May 11th of the year 2026. We are live on X, YouTube, presented by Diamond Sports Media, and powered by StreamYard. Well, here we are. It's just the three of us tonight for this ESB show. And you might be asking why. Why is it just three of us? Little sneak peek here. You can see it's just the tripod tonight. As we've said, Rich is getting married. Rich is going to be leaving us. So we went down to Atlantic City. Went down to Caesar's Palace down in Atlantic City this weekend, and we've lost our groom to be Mr. Rich. So it's just the three of us on this fine evening. Gentlemen, how you guys doing tonight?
We are doing well. Technically the four of us for at least a few minutes until Teddy gets tired over here. But we are doing well today.
There you go.
We're fighting off a cold over here. So we're doing that mostly.
I know. I feel you there. And Tom, where do you think Rich is? Where we know we lost him. Where's Rich on this fine evening?
I heard Rich is getting a colonoscopy, so he's currently getting his colon just vacuumed out of his ass. So
God.
I mean, we all know Rich is full of shit, so we're trying to deal with that.
Oh my God.
In a medical.
Oh man. Well, there you go. You have it. We have a little bit of a colonoscopy tonight for Rich. But anyway, it will be the three of us on this fine show on this fine Monday evening. It's going to be a little bit of a lighter show than normal, too. Again, just three of us, a little less content to run through, a little bit of an abbreviated show in some aspects. In other aspects, it'll be great. We're looking forward to still interacting with you all in the chat. So feel free to go ahead and reach out and chat with us a bit. It's also an interesting day because it's the last show before the very first Subway series of 2026. Although I got to tell you guys, this might be one of the least hyped Subway series we've had in a very, very, very long time, with the tale of two different New York teams. I know we'll get more into that in the moment here. Before we jump into too much content, Tom, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of info on Roback?
Let's do it. We're still in this time of year when it's cold in the morning, it's warm in the afternoon. Maybe it's just going to be cold all day, warm all day. Who knows? But if you want to be comfortable through all those weather changes, Roback has you covered better than anyone else. I got a polo on right now. They make really comfortable t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts, Q-zips, pants, shorts, bathing suits, all kinds of stuff. They just released their American Summer collection. So if you're looking for some good old USA stuff, they got that. They got one with the bunting like that you have like opening day. So a little bit of a baseball flair there. Head over to roback.com, use promo code TWASPL15, get yourself 15% off of your first order. Again, there's a ton of stuff over there. Take a look, find some things, use the promo code RHOBACK.com, promo code TWASPL15.
There you go, and there you have it. And listen, Roback, could not recommend it more. Half my closet now seems to be Roback these days. And again, we got a few people filing into the chat. We got Jacob Petruzzi. Go ahead and smack and like that sub button for the boys on your way in. Appreciate the love, as always, Jacob. We also got CK. Chris is in the building. What up? What up to you, my man? Welcome to the show. I'm looking forward to chatting with you a bit more later on in the comments. But go ahead. Put your notes in the chat, and we'll do what we got to do throughout the show there. But anyway, speaking of the show, here's the Roback rundown for this evening. We're going to start first with the Queens Gambit. For those of you who might be some of the OG viewers here, the Queens Gambit was our Met segment that we used to do back when we had an individual Met segment and Yankee segment. So we're going to start first with the Queens Gambit. We will then go into Guess the Graph for tonight's game segment. We do have an autograph ball from our very own Rich Rivera tonight. So we will be getting to Guess the Graph a little later in the show. And then finally, Bronx is Burning. This was the second half. This was the Bronx half of the old school podcast, where we're going to have a dedicated segment to the Yankees. So a little bit of an old school themed show tonight with Queens Gambit and Bronx is Burning. But it's going to be a good show. With that said, let's go ahead and start with the Queens Gambit now. And listen,
Mhm.
things aren't that good right now in Queens. I mean, Joe, I know you're there watching it with me each and every night, and it has not been fun. Tom, you picked the Mets second overall. You're definitely not having fun
Well,
right now either.
I think
It's
we know
devastating. Joe, if you
Um,
would let me here, let the real Mets fans talk.
no.
It's just devastating what's happening, and it seems like they don't give a shit, right? Like we're keeping Mendoza. Like what are we? Can we move on? Like we need a spark. This team needs a spark, and we don't seem to care. It's a bunch of guys that don't seem to care. They're counting their money. They're not doing the little things. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing of what is kind of the brand of baseball. Joe, as a secondary Met fan, what do you think?
I mean, there's too many times where the team. Let's forget the woes on the offensive side. They've lost too many games to teams that they should have beaten. They lost a 2-1 game Saturday in Arizona. They should have won, right? Like the offense could not score more than one run. They should have won a 10-inning game against Los Angeles out in May 2nd. They should have won a 5-4 game against the Nationals. There was a 4-3 game against Colorado before that game got postponed on Friday, April 24th. You go down the list, they have won an extraordinary – they should have won a 2-1 game against the Cubs. So, I mean, there's an extraordinary amount. Even when they got swept with L.A., they should have won the 2-1 game that McLean pitched. There's an extraordinary amount of games that the Mets should have won and didn't, on top of the fact that they have issues to begin with. So I get it. We understand that the offense is a problem. We know why the offense is a problem. Of your top 5 hitters to start the year, 3 of them are currently on the IL. Your number 2 hitter is on the IL. He went on the IL a day after your number 1 hitter came back from the IL. So the offense hasn't had any consistency in it. But putting Austin Slater in the 3-hole is not helping your case. Putting Ibanez.
This is the kind of shit the Yankees were doing the past couple years, and literally with Austin Slater. It's like,
yeah. If you're gonna
really
live and die,
they think it's gonna work here.
If you're gonna live and die by your team not being very good, do it with the names that you expected to be there. And that means regardless of lefty righty, Brett Beatty is in the lineup. Regardless of lefty righty, Carson Benj is in the lineup. Tyrone Taylor and Benj, to be fair, has been a lot better the last 14 days. So he is starting to look like the prospect we expected him to be. When we called him up, he got off to a very slow start. I'm not concerned with him, but he needs to be in the lineup every single day. All right. He doesn't have to be sitting for Austin Slater against the lefty. Let the kid play and let Tyrone Taylor switch with Slater or MJ Melendez. Let those guys switch. Benj needs to be in the lineup every single day. Brett Beatty needs to be playing third base every day until Lindor comes back and Bichette needs to go away. If you need to rotate the DH between Andy Ibanez and Austin Slater and MJ Melendez, do it. But that's compounding the problem. On top of the fact that, let's be honest, Vientos had a great week this past week, but Vientos, Beatty, Francisco Alvarez, they're just not good. Just not good ball players. And regardless if the Mets brought back Pete Alonso or not and ran it back, the fact of the matter is the kids, the baby Mets that we expected the future of this team to be aren't good enough. And now hopefully we have a second wave here with Carson Benj coming or is already here. Maybe Ryan Clifford or EJ Ewan are something in the minor leagues, but they're not here yet. And so the Mets team is only going to go as far as the stars take it. And right now, they only have 2 stars in the lineup, and Bichette hasn't been playing good.
Bichette has definitely not looked like the guy who was advertised. What do we think we're getting with Bo Bichette? A guy, yeah, he's not going to be someone hitting 30-plus home runs, but he's going to be hitting for a high average and even higher average with runners in scoring position and be an RBI machine, especially when he's hitting around Lindor and Soto in that lineup. And he could not be further than what's been advertised. He's been absolutely miserable at the plate. He has 2 home runs. Okay, fine. It's not even the home runs that bother me. It's just the lack of situational baseball. How many times has Bo Bichette come up? It feels like in the last 2 weeks with a chance to drive in a run, change the game, and he hasn't done anything. But that's also been the story for the whole team. We're picking on Bo because he's getting paid $40 million. He's supposed to be the guy doing this job. But the whole team seems to be doing the same thing. Francisco Alvarez, I don't know what happened with Francisco Alvarez this year, too. He might be setting a record for grounding into a double plays in the season. I forgot what the number was, but he was over double digit ground into double plays already at this point of the season. Absolutely absurd. So the Mets simply are not getting the job done offensively. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull up some stats here. Go ahead, look at some of these stats, and you can see the Mets right now are in last place. They're 12.5 back in the division. Forget about the division right now. How about just win some ball games? But it's a little hard to see. But I have it sorted over there by home runs. Your home run leader right now is Mark Vientos with 5. Yeah. You have a couple of guys with 4. It's Alvarez and Soto. Alvarez's home runs seem to always be solo shots, and they do not come in big moments. Soto was very, very hot before the injury, came back, hit a couple of home runs, but he's kind of in a rut now too. And there it is, Bo Bichette right there, Mr. RBI machine, tied for the team lead with 16, but he's hitting 222. His OPS is in the 500s. All right, you have a OPS in the 600s. That's not that good. Yes, in the 500s for a guy getting $40 million this year. I mean, it's hard to keep doing that. And the pitching, last year, you look at last year's team. The problem with last year's team in the second half was you were not getting pitching day in and day out. Outside of Peterson, and then he fell apart in the second half. Then you called up McClain. He looked really good, but he could only do so much by himself. The whole pitching staff with the Mets last year fell apart. This year, the pitching has actually been pretty good. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull up the stats again. You look at the pitching. It's like, all right, you got Clay Holmes over there. Clay Holmes has looked like an all-star. He's phenomenal. Nolan McLean, he's doing exactly what you expect. 270-something ERA. Freddie Peralta, again, I want a little more out of Freddie. I think he might be starting to turn the corner a little bit and beat the guy we thought he would be. He's pitching in the 3 ERAs. He's not the problem right now either. Peterson is. Sean Manaea, useless. We got to send him out. We know what happened to Kodai Senga. He gave you 2 decent starts, 3 absolutely miserable, uncompetitive ones. He's on the IL. You're doing the opener thing now with Peterson. But for the most part, at least 3/5 of your rotation is putting you in a position to win each day. But the offense is just completely
it should be enough to keep you in ball games. I mean, let's face it, we got a Rookie of the Year candidate and a Cy Young candidate in the top of the rotation right now. And regardless of what we want to say about Peralta's been serviceable. I'm not going to get on Peralta. The fact is, and I'm glad you mentioned the opener, Corey. Look what happened. What is Mendoza doing, right? You want to get the opener because for whatever reason, Peterson can't get out of the first inning without getting damaged. Fine. But you put in Brazoban to start the game, and then Brazoban came into trouble in the second inning. Why is he pitching into the second inning? The point was to start the game with him as an opener and then go to Peterson. You tried to double down on Brazoban. You turn around, he got in trouble, and now you burn in Tobias Myers, who I would argue is probably your second best pitcher out of that bullpen. Outside of Brooks Raley at the moment. So now you've burned 2 relievers to start the game. You've put yourself behind the 8 ball, and now Peterson comes in, and then, of course, he doesn't get help from his defense because Andy Abaez makes 2 errors. And I'm not going to get on Andy Abaez because he should be playing the game. It was a waiver claim. He should be playing every day. So it's all problems. And again, is it Mendoza's fault completely? No, but these are the things that make the difference where you double dip on a pitcher before you're out of the second inning. That's a 1-inning pitcher typically. And all of a sudden you've put yourself behind the 8 ball with an offense that doesn't score.
And this was the point we brought up. I know I brought up a lot in the offseason regarding the Mets. The offense last year wasn't the issue. It was the pitching. And they decided to blow up the entire offense. And I just don't understand why they did that. It felt very micromanaging of Stearns. I kind of want to get into that a little bit with you guys since the last time we talked. The Pete Alonso, I forget whose report came out, what story it was, but his conversation with Stearns, what they're going to, Alonso saying he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's, whatever. It is what it is. Hey, he's confident in himself. But him basically saying that Stearns is a big nerd, and that he's going to, not penny pinch, but he's just going to be looking at his spreadsheets, and that's how he's going to make these decisions. And I'm not saying Pete has been incredible in Baltimore so far, but the offense wasn't the problem last year. The pitching was. And then you have a whole season of McLean, get Freddie Peralta, Clay Holmes being good, right? That's a very good top three. You would want a little bit more kind of filling out that rotation, but I still don't understand why they did that. I felt like Stearns was trying to overdo it, to really say, look what I did. I just rebuilt this entire team, and it's hurting him. It's killing him right now.
I think Stearns' plan was to blow it up after 24. I truly think that. And the fact that the Mets were successful in 24 and did what they did made it so he had to double down on a roster that he didn't very much like. And we can debate that all we want. The fact of the matter is the Mets never won anything with Pete, McNeil, Nimmo.
But only one team wins it every year. I don't think you can say like, well, if they didn't win, you have to blow it up. Only one team. And if you want to say the teams that make the World Series as like the two teams who really did it, fine. But that's so limiting, and you can't just blow it up every 3 years. I just don't think that's the way to operate.
But Tom, let's just go through the history with Pete. When Pete Alonso came up in 2019, Mets won 86 games. 2020 is a wash. They won 26 games in a 60-game season. 21 they won 77. 22 they won 101. 23 they won 75. 24 they won 89. And then 25 they won 83. That's Alonso's tenure here. They won 90 games one time, Tom.
Yeah, but but then the plan was to start Jorge Polanco at first base. I don't care. Give him. I don't know if he would have taken it, but give him the similar to like the Bo Bichette deal. Give him a ton of money for 3 years, and then if you say, listen, he's not the long term answer. That's fine. He's getting up there in age a little bit. I get it, but then give him that deal. Give him all the money for 3 years, and then move on. But like starting Jorge Polanco at first base is a joke. It's embarrassing. That was the move.
Yeah, and who knows what Alonso would have done, but at least offer him the Bo Bichette contract. Because, again, like you said, the biggest thing with Alonso, okay, you don't want to give him the 5 years, fine, but give him short-term a ton of ABV. And that way, at least you're set at first base. The guy played every game, just about every single game. Here you go, CK in the chat here, too. Jorge Polanco's missed more games as a Met already than Alonso did in 7 years. It sure feels like it.
Alonso signed 5 for 55. And what did they sign Bichette for? 4 for 120?
I think it's 3. But he has an opt-out after this year. I can tell you right now, he ain't opting out at this rate.
No,
I can tell you that right now.
Like, you don't think Alonso would have taken that type of deal? I know he wanted a longer deal, but like he's not going to take that money.
No,
120 would have been a great deal for
5 on the table. He was taking the 5-year deal. Listen, I understand that. It's not just him though. It's everyone. It's getting rid of Nimmo. The Met fan that is upset that they blew it up. It is also the same guy screaming when if we ran it back from last year and just added Freddie Peralta, they would have been like, that's not good enough to make up 7-8 games in the division and get into the playoff spot. They won 83
I would probably
games.
disagree. A full season of Nolan McLean and adding Freddie Peralta, who's a top 10 pitcher in the NL. Like, that, and then if you add another pitcher,
and then, but Tom, then what happens in 2 years from now when you're paying a mid-30s Pete Alonso, aging Nimmo, and aging Francisco Lindor? That's what he's trying to avoid. He's trying to avoid looking like what the Phillies look like right now. And again, not that he's done a good job picking his replacement, But that's what Stearns is avoiding. Stearns is avoiding what the Phillies are in a nightmare. The Phillies now have 5 guys over the age of 33 that they're paying for the next 3 years, 4 years. They're stuck. If you re-signed Alonso and kept Nimmo, think about where this team would be 3 years from now. It'd be the same team over and over again. And as I just went through the record, the same team hasn't been good enough. They've made the playoffs. They made the playoffs twice since 2017. That's not good enough. It's not good enough with the same core of players, right? Like, yes, we know DeGrom left. I get that. That's a huge part of this, right? If you had DeGrom last year, you would have been fine, or you could have had options to go. But that's not the case anymore. And so Stearns has to look at this team objectively. I think he thought
Stearns needs to run this team like he has the richest owner in baseball, not like he's running the Brewers. That's what he needs to do.
I think he's trying to do both. And he's got to pick one because he signed Soto, and I know that was the owner, but he signed Soto. He signed Bichette, right? That's not a small owner mentality to spend $45 million on Bo Bichette. So, Brewers don't do that. So I think he's doing it. But at the end of the day, he needs the roster that he puts together. And yes, this is part of the way there. But if you look at the parts that are failing the team, they're the leftovers. The Brett Beattys, the Mark Vientos, the David Petersons, 75% of the headaches on this team are the leftovers. And the fact is, the matter is, the leftovers aren't good enough. And so it's going to take time. If E.J. Ewing, if Ryan Clifford, even Ryan Clifford's technically a leftover, but if those guys are successful, Santucci, Wenninger,
I just traded E.J. Ewing in a dynasty league. What do you guys think of that? Trade him for LeBron. Trade him for LeBron.
I picked them up in one.
I think Ewing's going to be good, but
I hope he is. For our sake, I hope he's good. But I mean, the thing is, you have this payroll, and again, it's big on paper. It's like close to 325, 350. A lot of that's the leftover money that's about to be gone. But the problem is, you can't have that big of a payroll with that big expectations.
I agree.
Your 3-hitter be a DFA pickup from a week and a half ago. You have 3 guys in the lineup that are like DFA pickups.
Yeah, I think I kind of land there. I land there as well. If Stearns wanted to blow it up and then actually blow it up, but he didn't.
Again, I have no problem with blowing up, but don't leave the dead bodies that dragged you down last season on the team. If you were going to blow it up, and I know he's looking for low-cost options, then Vientos and Peterson shouldn't have been on this team this year.
Yep.
And I know that's hard to say because Peterson was his best pitcher last year, but we saw the signs that this guy wasn't the guy, or Sean Manaea. And here's the other question I have, right? Let's say you ran it back, right? Let's say you got Nimmo, you kept Alonso, you signed Alonso to a 5-year deal. What if this team and you brought in Peralta, you made the Peralta trade? What if this team with Peralta wins 84 games and misses the playoffs? What do you do then? Now you're locked into Alonso. Now maybe you can't move Nimmo. Peralta's
my plan was Alonso the Bo Bichette deal. You're not locked in for 5 years. I think for that amount of money.
My point is very much the same. If you had run it back and you failed again and you brought back relatively the same team, then what
do you define as failed?
Not making the postseason is. Okay, let's start with that. Not making a run in the postseason. Like, it's one thing. Again, 2024 is an example. It's one thing to get to the NLCS and get beat by the Dodgers. Like that's going to happen. We know that. But the fact is, the Met fan wants to be in the postseason in a 10-year span. They want to be in the postseason 7 times. Right? We've never had that in our history. We have 2 years, and then we go into the doldrums again. That has been their history since the beginning of time. The Mets have never made the playoffs more than 2 years in a row.
Exactly. Never. And you look, it goes back to all the errors, too. I mean, we go back to 2006. We thought that was going to be the start of a Mets dynasty run. That was the only year they made it with that core. When you go ahead to 2015, the World Series run where they lost to the Royals, you made it again the next year, 2016, but that was it for that core. They made it in 2022, didn't make it in 23. Made it in 24, didn't make it 25, and 26 right now ain't trending much better.
Even the 86 team was supposed to be a dynasty team.
Yep.
They won in 86. They were an up-and-coming team in 85. They won in 86. They got injured in 87. They were back in the playoffs in 88 and lost to Bob Gibson. Not Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson would have been like 50 years old in 1988.
Gibson, whatever his first name is. And then they were done because half the team was on drugs. And then you had to wait till 99 and 2000. They had 2 back-to-back runs. Yep. Lost to the Braves, lost to the Yankees.
And then that was it. And then they went down to – and then just a couple years later, they're the worst team in baseball.
Corey, you guys go back and look at that 06 team and how insane the offense was. You have to question how that team didn't win.
I know.
Sometimes the good teams don't win. That's the other part.
Thank you, Mike.
True too.
Thank you.
That's true too. Anyway, just looking at the Mets schedule too, real quick, because again, the season's not over, but it's looking very bleak. I mean, right now the New York Metropolitans are the worst team in baseball. But going just before that Angels series on May 1st, my goal was like, all right, can this team find a way to rally back, get within 5 games of 500 by Memorial Day? So on May 1st, the goal was, okay, you have to go 14-8, be within 5 games of 500 on Memorial Day. Right now, the New York Metropolitans, to continue that, need to go 9-5 down the stretch. And you look at the schedule, Joe and Tom. You have 3 versus the Tigers. That's the Tigers without Tariq Skubal. You have 3 versus the Yankees. And listen, the Yankees are by far and away the better team on paper right now. But anytime there's a Subway Series, sometimes that can spark up the teams and make the worser team play better. You got 4 versus the Nationals. I mean, you got to find a way to win 3 of those 4 games. I mean, come on. And then you get 3 versus the Marlins, and then you're in Memorial Day. If they can't do 9-5 in that stretch, I mean, come on. There's a chance they could. I'm not even asking for 12-2. I'm not asking for anything too crazy.
All those other teams are looking at their schedule, and they're saying, well, we got to take 2 or 3 against the Mets.
You're not wrong. Right now, you're not wrong. Right now, you're not wrong. But that's the thing. If any team right now, like you said, Tom, everyone should be happy to be playing the Mets on the schedule. But from a Mets standpoint, if you want to win the playoffs, a lot of those teams that are on this schedule right here, you have to go ahead and beat them. And you have to start sweeping a couple of series. You're not going to rattle off 10, 12 in a row to all of a sudden find yourselves back at 500. But you have to find a way to win 4 of 5, get a sweep in there, make it like a 8-1 stretch, something like that. And I'm just not seeing that with the Mets right now. They had a chance to have their 3rd straight series win, but they couldn't win Saturday because they only scored 1 run. And they only gave up 2.
And it doesn't look like the reinforcements are close from what I can tell. It looks like Polanco's not Achilles is still acting up, and Robert hasn't started baseball activities yet. So, and who knows with Lindor? Lindor is still probably a month away. This is the team the Mets are going to have to rock with. And at some point, you got to say what we have isn't good enough. Start calling up kids. Yeah. You got to do something different.
At that point, we'll see what point. At some point, if you get to June and you're still within that 10, 12 games under 500 mark, you got to do something to switch it up. Yeah. But we'll see what happens. But speaking of switching up, we're going to switch up here a little bit tonight. But before we go to the next segment, Joe, why don't you tell us about YouTube?
Yes, you can watch us live on X. But YouTube is our preferred platform. Why we can interact with you, the chat, here on the show. So do us a favor, go over to YouTube, type in Empire State of Baseball, and hit that subscribe button. It's free. We're over 570 subscribers and counting. We're looking to get to 750 and do another giveaway. Don't forget, we're live every Monday, but we're also live on occasionally on Tuesday when the Clubhouse hosted by Sierra goes, and then we're live on Thursdays at 8:00 when Shaped Up goes live, hosted by Keith, Corey, yours truly, and Phil on a rotational basis.
Yeah, and listen, within the next month, the schedule will be shifted a little bit. We'll be taking a break on some shows. We might skip a week here and there, Memorial Day holiday.
Yep.
So ultimately, we'll see what happens. But still, tune in. It's still going to be very active over the next month. I'm looking forward to talking baseball with everyone, even if it's not my team, because my team right now, I don't know. I have nothing fun to talk about. But sometimes when you're bad enough, it makes it fun sometimes. But anyway, we're going to go ahead into our game segment for tonight for Guess the Graph. So again, Guess the Graph. We're going to present 2 autographs. One ideally Mets background, one ideally Yankees background. Looking at the game standings, a little bit of an asterisk on the last one with Tom Wospil at 3. There's a debate if he's tied with us at 4 or stuck at 3.
It's just it's always something. It's always something with. I mean, it's you.
Always something.
Guys are rich. It's a conspiracy every time. It's last week. Tom is tied. He's tied for second with everyone, and now all of a sudden I'm in fourth.
Guys, I gave you a question where Robinson Cano was the answer, and you couldn't get it. So you know what I mean? Like, you gave me a point.
Yeah.
And I gave you an extremely popular Yankee.
Yep. Well, anyway, for tonight, again, Guess the Graph is the name of the game. So I'm going to pull up a baseball. Give us 1 second, and we're going to go ahead. Here you go, right here. Our first ball for tonight. We'll start first. This is the one I've provided. So Tom, we will go to you, and then Joe.
I think we're free for all for Guess the Graph, right?
Guess the Graph, yeah. You know what? Let's do this free for all. Let's do it. After the first round of guesses, I'll throw a hint or two.
Wilmer Flores.
It is not.
I was looking for a W. I saw what you saw. I don't think it's there. Ty Wigginton.
Is not Ty Wigginton. I'll give the first hint. You both gave offensive players.
Pause before, like you say, and it always just gets me. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, first hint. I know both of you went offense. It's actually the other side. It's on the mound.
Glendon Rush.
It is not Glendon Rush. I like the name. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Oh,
thinking who's
Joe at 2, Tom at 1.
Who's an obscure Met that Corey would?
Really stuck on that W. It might not even be a W. That's the problem.
You never know with some of the.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I'm trying to figure out. I have what I think it starts the last name, but I'm also then trying to figure out what the hell that letter is. I'm just going to take a backwards K, and then we'll get the next hit.
All right. So this will be the final hint. We're at 2 Ks each. There's a little bit of a Subway Series flair here. This player did play for both New York teams. So that's a little bit of I want to give a little bit of a Subway Series flair with that being the theme this week.
So it's a pitcher.
I don't think it's that guy. I think we've used that guy because I think I have that guy's autograph, and it doesn't look like that.
We're down to the final guess for both.
I don't think the name's too long for that one. Corey might have me.
I don't think this is it. I don't know if he was a Met either. Maybe he was. I'm gonna say Mike Stanton.
It is not Mike or Giancarlo Stanton.
The original Mike Stanton.
He was a Met.
He was a Met.
The original Mike Stanton was a Met.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
I thought he was.
Yep. So Joe, we're down to your final guess.
I'm gonna peek in the comments to see if anyone has
Armando Benitez.
It is not Armando Benitez. So this player, the name still has relevance today, but because of his son, this is David Weathers.
Oh, his son's pitching right
David-
now.
Yep, his son is still pitching. He's with the Yankees, crosstown. So through a little bit of a Subway Series flair.
So
it
the
looks like that'll be a
W-
point to
I
me.
mean, I don't think he signed it Weathers David, so the W wasn't a W to start.
Yeah, but that's that. But we do got a second ball for tonight. Let me go ahead. I'm going to pull it up real quick on the big screen. Here you go, right here. So this bowl was provided by Mr. Rich Rivera. I do not know the name, but we do have a ghost in the private chat who's going to help guide us through to see where we are here. So this is the Yankee side of the house. Not be a Yankee, but this is from Yankee fan Rich Rivera. This is interesting. It's like it looks abbreviated. It's like really interesting.
I feel like we could probably make out these letters. Let's just try to figure out what that could be. But also, you don't know.
I don't know.
Kevin Youkilis.
Let's check the private chat. Is it a Kevin Youkilis? Wrong. 1K for Joe. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm
we're all
in
trying
trouble.
I think we're all trying to get K names if we're all being honest. And I can't think of a K name only Kevin.
Joe is on the right track with the Euclid.
Maybe we don't know. It might not be a K.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Could be. Wait a minute.
Is it? It's definitely not him, but I'm just going to throw it out there because it's a K. Is it Kyle Farnsworth?
Ooh, that's a good one.
God, that's
wrong.
A good guess. I will. Let's see. I'm just gonna take a backwards K to get the clue.
All right, backwards K for the clue. So we're gonna look in the private chat here. We got 3 Ks across the board. Let's see if does a ghost have a hint potentially? Ooh, same theme. Subway Series, Met Yankee. So it's a similar theme. Similar theme. See, I had a name, and then the Subway Series theme completely threw it off. I had another K I wanted to use.
Are you sure it wasn't a Yankee?
It was definitely a Yankee, but not a Met.
Not a Met.
Not a Met. If I don't come up with a name in 30 seconds, I might throw them out there, even though I know it's wrong. All right, forget. I'm just gonna say. I was gonna say Kerry Wood.
That's a good one.
I don't think this is right. Wasn't a former Yankee though. Kevin Cash.
Wrong. Mine is wrong. 2 for Tom also.
Dowdy was a Met. People forget.
So there we go. We're at 2 Ks. Joe's got 1.
Did you chooch Rich? Did you take a guy? Kenny Rogers.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wrong. Wow, that was a good
I thought I had
you had it. I thought you had it on that one.
I thought I had him.
Oh man. All right. Is there one last hint, we think? One last hint.
As the Orioles take a 3-2 lead. So that stinks.
Non-Hall of Famer.
World Series champion.
World Series champion.
I'm just going to assume that's a Yankees World Series champion. He's not pulling some. This was a guy who won it with the Giants or something.
That would be an interesting wrinkle.
That was both a Met and a Yankee.
I feel like it's not going to be a K name, and that's just going to
that would throw us all for a loop.
That's like my going theory.
Like
currently.
a V.
I ran through that. I ran through
like,
that possibility.
The V's get so limited.
I couldn't even think of a V name.
No. Who am I thinking of? I have a guy. I'm just blanking on his.
I forget if he was a Yankee.
Jose
Vizcaíno.
Definitely was a Yankee.
Okay.
Definitely was a Yankee.
Wrong. Yeah, this is.
I am Cade.
Kareem Garcia. He didn't win a World Series with the Yankees. He was gone. He was later.
Wrong.
I just got happy to think I remember the K name.
CK was right there with you with Rogers.
World Series champ.
Final.
Another K name. It's so random. I don't think he won a World Series with the Yankees.
Is it because you just looked in the chat and you saw all CK's other guests?
No. Kevin Elster.
Oh, I was going to say.
Oh.
What the fuck is
all right, Rich.
All right, the Ghost. The Ghost gets a point. Curious to see who this graph is. Darryl Strawberry. What?
Must have been a cocaine autograph.
It might have been.
I mean, you see the S.
Oh my god!
I saw the S.
Yeah, we were thrown for a loop. We all thought K's. All of us thought K's, but sure enough, it was not a K. It was a D. Darryl Strawberry.
You can see where it could be a D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. Well, it looks like myself and the Ghost each get a point to add on to the standings. So we'll see. How are we going to judge the Ghost? I don't know. The point goes into oblivion, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, we're going to keep the show going.
By the way, this is Darryl Strawberry's normal.
Oh, so you know what? So that was an abbreviated one. At least you could see the D. So all right, yeah, I see it. Just a shorter-handed one. But all right. Well, anyway, before we jump into the next segment, let's talk Instagram and TikTok. Tom, do you want to give us the details on Instagram and TikTok?
If I must, definitely give us a follow on Instagram at Empire State of Baseball with our over 8,000 followers to see Corey cooking up his reels, seeing cut-ups from the shows. Great place to interact with us as well. We do go live occasionally there as well. Although, as Joe said before, prefer definitely on YouTube. And also, we've been bringing it up recently, the TikTok. So 190 followers so far. So making some progress there. Same kind of stuff. Archive segments, episode previews, meme reels. We do some game reviews that might pop up on TikTok, and even some of the Instagram. You never know what you're going to get. It'd be a bit of a hodgepodge, but it's always going to be some good, fun, engaging content. Helps us out if you follow us and like the stuff as well. So we really appreciate it if you could do so.
Yeah. Listen, go ahead and give us the follow on those platforms. Like Tom said, we're starting to grow that TikTok. So go ahead and give us a follow there. We greatly appreciate it. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and shift now to the Bronx is Burning. All right, now we're on the Yankee side of the house again. Old school segment. Back when we used to talk just Mets and Yankees, there's individual segments here. But anyway, for the Yankees, a little bit of a tough weekend. They had their first was this their first ever since like that one long losing streak, like the 5-game losing streak. Is this the first series they've got swept in since then, Tom?
Yeah, it's the first time they got swept since you guys cursed them in Tampa, I believe.
Yeah, I mean that was something.
They got swept. Yeah, not what you want to steal our, a Joe Girardiism. They ran into a team. I mean, the Brewers are a team that I know Corey and I were big believers of it in the season preview. They just keep producing pitching, and they find guys, and that's what the Yankees ran into. Very good pitching all all weekend. Mizorowski was, I mean, he threw, I think, it's like the 10 fastest pitches of the season by a starter, like just consecutively. Yep. I mean, he's throwing 104. I don't know what you're supposed to do in that case. Free didn't have it that day. Schiller looked good the next day, and then Rodon's first start back, I think gave you a bit of a respectable effort, not a vintage Rodon effort, but it's for his first start of the year. You can't be too upset with it. Mm-hmm. But the Brewers pitching shut him down, and that was the story of it. The talking points I know going on Yankees Twitter right now is the Yankees, I think, are 1-8 against teams with winning records so far this year. Again, not what you want. You'd rather them be doing better than that. It is still early, as we like to remind everyone. Some of the Yankees' weaknesses, I think, definitely got exposed though. Again, the starting pitching, Fried wasn't good. He's not going to be great every day. I've been talking about the Yankees bullpen, I think, all season, and it just kind of continuously is showing its head. That they don't got it. I mean, Bednar even kind of was giving up some stuff. Duvall, I mean, truly send Duvall anywhere. I can't see Duvall in another game that matters. He does not have it.
Duvall is the kind of guy who's going to make you drink. I mean, because he's got such electric stuff. My Lord, is he? He's one of those guys that flirts with disaster, and it's constant. I mean, can you imagine a big game and Duvall's coming in?
No, at this point, I can't imagine a medium game where he's coming in. He's been so bad. Tim Hill made a bad play. Fernando Cruz. I mean, they have guys that in games that matter, I wouldn't mind them. Oh, if they're coming in the sixth inning, if Fernando Cruz coming in like the sixth inning of a game, okay. But he's a top end guy in this bullpen. The trading deadline is going to come, and the AL is bad, right? We all know that the AL is really bad. The Yankees are far and away so far the best team in the AL. No one else is really showing much of anything, and the Yankees are going to need to load up that bullpen. They're going to need to trade guys. They're going to need to bring guys up. They're going to need to bring up, a Legrand. We're going to see a Ryan Weathers who is probably going to get kicked to the bullpen. He's going to need to be a guy. And then they're going to need to pick up a couple more if this team really wants to compete. Because if not, granted, it's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to go through the AL into the World Series. But they're going to be they should be the favorites too. But with this bullpen, they're going to get pantsed by just about every team in the NL because the starters are great. The offense has been good. That part just doesn't work.
I'll tell you what too. Listen, if our team is selling off some pieces and you need bullpen, I got a couple of back end of the bullpen guys we could maybe offer you guys at the deadline. A little Luke Weaver set up, Devin Williams can close a game for you.
We want nothing to do with Devin Williams. Yankee fans would take Luke Weaver back with open arms. We would be so happy to have Luke Weaver back. We love him. CK would just be doing cartwheels if we got Luke Weaver back. I saw some mocks of the Yankees trying to go out and trade for Duran at the deadline. I mean, they need impact arms. They're losing this game right now, 3-2. Hopefully they can come back and beat the Orioles, kind of get back on their winning ways.
Are you a Spencer Jones believer, Tom?
I think the potential is there. I think Aaron Judge is an absolute unicorn, and to think that Spencer Jones, because guys as the size of Aaron Judge don't make it as hitters. Their strike zones are too big. Their swings are too long. It doesn't work. Does he have the potential? Yeah, he does. I mean, he absolutely does. He has crazy power.
He's got crazy physical tools. Like
he has very tools, very loud traits going on with Spencer Jones.
Light tower power, all that stuff. I think the risk is that he's Joey Gallo.
I agree. I think now I put on the record for a lot of prospects. I think I would, most prospects are going to fail. So if he fails, I don't think it's like, oh, can you believe that Spencer Jones failed? Right. The most of them do. Guys, like if we think about it, like Yankee fans would look at a guy like Gleyber Torres, like, oh, what kind of a failure. But like Gleyber Torres, like he made it. Like he's a really good, solid major league player. Not every
career, yeah.
I know, but if you ask Yankee fans, they would think like he's like a failure. Like Gary Sanchez is like a failure. Where like he had some really good years, then he fell off. He's finding his way still, but I don't think Spencer Jones is it. I don't. I think there's just there would be a reason why guys that size would do it more, and they typically don't. The ones that do are usually these huge strikeout guys. Your Adam Dunn's, your Joey Gallo type guys, and
I mean, it looks like an NBA player that's playing baseball. I mean,
and listen, I think they made the right move bringing him up. I mean, Dominguez. Sucks for Dominguez. He can't catch a ball. For the past few years, goes out, makes a great play, runs into the wall, and sprains a shoulder, and maybe gets a concussion. And it's like, damn, that sucks a lot. But that was the right move. I mean, who else you gotta bring up? Let's
it's funny. You mentioned Gary Sanchez. I thought yesterday's game was the epitome of a Gary Sanchez game, right? Like he challenges two pitches that he's wrong in the batter's box at a bad time, and then he guns out a runner at second base. Like that is the most Gary Sanchez
polar opposite type thing.
I'm telling you. And by the way, can I ask this? We know Judge is awesome. Where is Judge going on that play? Why is Judge stealing second base? Because the Yankees win that game if Judge doesn't steal that get thrown out stealing that bag.
Judge has been stealing more this year. But yeah, you gotta
time in a place.
You gotta pick your moments. I think Judge is he's not the fastest guy in the world, right? He's a massive human. It takes him a while to kind of get up to speed. I think he's very much. He was looking at guys like Soto and Naylor last year stealing bases. Like I'm faster than these guys. I can pick my spots. I think he picked the wrong one.
Yeah, I just you're the time run is at the plate in Cody. You've had no offense all day. You had no offense the day before. Let Cody let him hit. You know what I mean? And then Cody gets the double. And then Jazz gets the double. Is that how it went? Cody gets the double.
And then Jazz, yeah.
And then Jazz gets the double. And now it's 2-1, or it ends up being 2-2, whatever the heck it was. And you're sitting there and you're saying, well, it would have been second and third at worst. And then Jazz would have scored the go-ahead run. Would have drove in the go-ahead one. I just like, listen, it's hard to pick on Aaron Judge. He's leading the world in home runs and all that stuff. But that was a bad play. That I can tell you wholeheartedly, going in that situation cost his team that game yesterday.
Yeah. You mentioned it
possibly too. You don't know what happens after that, but yeah, it's a bad play. It's a bad time to get caught. Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. And you mentioned Judge, hitting all the home runs, Yankee leader right now at 16. Ben Rice cooled off a little bit. I know he had the contusion in his hand, and they didn't IL him.
He missed the entire series, so.
Yeah, missed series.
But a home run tonight, so that's up to 13.
All right, very good. As a proud Ben Rice owner, I'm glad he went ahead and hit that home run. Looking at the stats there, I mean, the big thing too is on the pitching side, and I mean, we talk about him all the time. Cam Schlittler, absolutely phenomenal year. Max Fried, Tom, you mentioned before. Carlos Rodon came back, and not the best. Again, it might take him a couple shots through to get back to his older self, and then you got Cole not too far away. So, from a pitching standpoint, at least in the rotation, things looking bright, and the New York Yankees looking up at the Tampa Bay Rays, but the Rays are going to do that. I feel like that's the regular season mantra for the Rays. They're going to be pesky. They're going to find a way to linger around. They're going to find a way to make things annoying. But let's be real. I don't think any of us here expected Tampa Bay Rays to be the AL East winner once it's all said and done. Especially, and you got a couple teams on the 500. Listen, the Royals got some power. The Blue Jays, they did damage last year. The Red Sox, they're a mess. But it's not going to be the Rays up top. I could tell you that.
I hope not. But you never know. I mean, the Rays, the Rays tortured the Yankees for so long. Past couple of years, excuse me, the Rays haven't been very good. This is the first time I think they've really so far. They maybe are going to compete for a couple of years now. We'll see. I mean, I mean, you guys saw it in person. They're an annoying team to play. They are so annoying with and listen, I'm not saying anything like bad about it, but with the ultra small ball, I mean, just like T-ball small ball level of playing. It works for them. They're playing a brand of baseball that not many teams are playing. It's hard to, if you're not used to all the bunting and all the motion, I think it really throws teams off. We'll see. At some point, you got to still, nut up and hit, good pitching and that kind of stuff. And you wonder if the little bit of the shtick doesn't carry, but they've been good. Credit to them.
Exactly. Credit to them. They're a team that always fights, always lingers, and always makes a mess. And the Rays started. The Mets collapsed last year. When they started collapsing June 13th, it was getting swept by the Rays. So always find a way to make things fun. But anyway, if you want to go ahead and join the fun on X, give us a follow at ESB Podcast. We're at 3,200 followers and looking to still grow. So again, go follow us at ESB Podcast on X. And you can follow our subsidiary accounts at ESPNYM and at ESPNYY. And you can follow all of us, the founding fathers, at Corey Favs, at JR Pugs, at Rich Rivera, and at T Wospil. And again, we have spaces going all throughout the week. If you're a Met fan, a Yankee fan, if you're a baseball fan, if you just want to shoot the breeze, go ahead and join us and listen to our spaces. Again, all through the week. Everyone does a phenomenal job. I'll pull up the schedule again for reference here. We got a Bronx take 4 days a week, airing at 1 p.m. Eastern. Queens Boulevard over at 2 p.m. Eastern, typically on Friday, sometimes a little earlier. But, you got to do what you got to do. Extra innings. We're not going to have an extra innings tonight. But we normally do have extra innings at 9:30 p.m. Eastern following our show. And then we have the streams. Again, we mentioned before, follow us here at Empire State of Baseball Monday nights. We have the Clubhouse. The Clubhouse will be taking a little bit of a hiatus the next couple of weeks as well. But the Clubhouse typically on Tuesday evenings. And then we have Shape Up, hosted by Keith on Thursday nights, again, typically at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So a lot of good shows if you want to join the conversation throughout the week. And again, just kind of looking at the next couple of weeks ahead. Our next episode, number 164, will air on Monday, May 18th. Same spots, X and YouTube. Give us a follow on YouTube, and that'll be airing at 8 p.m. Eastern time. From there, it gets a little tricky. I know Memorial Day, we're probably going to take the night off. It's a Monday holiday. And then the week after that is the Godfather's wedding. Rich Rivera himself will be getting married on May 31st, so we will likely be taking the June 1st show off. And then the next week after that, I think we're going to have a full house once again. So,
yes, sir.
It'll be a fun.
And you know what? You know what, Joe? Here's the frustrating thing with Camilo Duvall. Comes in heart of the Baltimore's lineup, gets a broken bat, little grounder to shortstop, strikes out Gunnar Henderson with a 99-mile-an-hour nasty sinker, and then got to pop out. It's like what? Like, God, he's so filthy. If he could just throw strikes.
Then tomorrow he won't record it out. I mean,
he's gonna go 2/3. He's gonna give up 3 hits and a walk. Jesus,
unbelievable. Well, with that said, we'll go with Tom, Joe, and then myself for the wrap.
We didn't start the show with it, but happy belated Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We all appreciate you. I just think there's moms that had to deal with Joe as a child. How terrible must that have been? God bless Miss Pugliese for having to deal with that little boy down there.
Yep. I Mother's Day special. It's one thing you don't realize how special until you're not celebrating it anymore, and in your family, and then you get to celebrate it all over when you have ones of your own. So happy Mother's Day to all. There's not enough love for moms out there. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Now, happy Mother's Day to everyone watching who celebrates, and to everyone's families who celebrate too. Wish you all the best. Until then, I think that's going to wrap our show for tonight. So again, like we mentioned, go ahead, give us a follow on all the places. And we look forward to watching you guys next week. Until then, take care.